Hello again, my name is Jack Coleman, and unfortunately, unlike some people that are able to use Screencast-O-Matic to show you the notes they're using while giving this speech, I unfortunately was having issues with the face cam, so you're not going to be able to see my notes for this, unfortunately. But anyway, the topic I chose is going to be online gaming, and therein by streaming said online games, and the complications that go along with that. As a content creator myself, I've learned that certain games are streamable, certain games are not. And if you choose to stream games that are on the restricted or prohibited list, you can potentially get banned, you get copyright striked as a minor offense, and you're lucky if you still have an account after you play some of those games on some of these services like Twitch or YouTube. But we're not here specifically to talk about Twitch or YouTube in this speech. But overall, the history of online gaming, it's been around longer than most people give it credit for, which I personally did not realize how far back this dated, but it does date back to relatively late in the 60s, 1969, when the internet was still a version of the ARPANET. And in of itself, that is still, you may not realize how far back the influence of online gaming goes, but you need the internet to play games online, and also need internet to stream said games if you choose. But anyway, so internet timeline starts in 1969 as per the internet timeline provided by LifeWire. In 1969, the ARPANET starts being researched, and where the internet really starts rolling. The gaming scene, however, I believe it does not start up until around... Sorry, I realize I'm sounding like I'm all over the place and not totally with everything that's going on, but the online gaming scene, it's been around for a while. It's not terribly old, but it's not 2 years new, if you can understand where I'm going with that. And I believe... the online gaming didn't really start until around the 1990s. Generally within the 1990s, you can say that's when the online gaming started to press on and do everything that we see today, really, or give it at least the basis. But you may be wondering why I chose this topic. Not just because I'm a content creator, but because I'm a person that I've been gaming for most of my life. Played across just about every console from Nintendo to PlayStation to Xbox, and finally getting onto PC just recently. But I chose this because this hits more of a topic for people that you may play games and you may consider streaming games because that is a huge market. You can make a lot of money in streams, but you also need to realize what's allowed and what's not allowed with those online games. I know I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm not exactly an organized person, so to speak, but this all ties together, because if you don't have streaming, you don't have online gaming as it is today. If you don't have the internet, you have nothing like we have today. So bear that in mind. The internet is basically the catalyst, if you will, for all of this. So that's all there really is to it. Online gaming, while it has been around since the 90s, and you may say that the 90s may not have had the best graphics, may not have had the best a lot of things for gaming, it still is the basis of where we have it. So that's, relatively speaking, exactly where it needs to be. Now, I mentioned streaming games. I've brought up multiple things about games not being allowed. Certain games you cannot stream, for example, off the top of my head that I know, a game like HuniePop. If you know that game, you know why it can't be streamed. There's way too much censoring that has to be in for that. There are a few other games, for obvious reasons, that cannot be streamed, but I will cover that more in depth within the content of my next speech. So, hopefully you'll be around for that. Sorry. A little bit under the weather. Allergies are not fun. Everything else isn't great, but hopefully you guys at least learned something from this speech, so take care and have a good day.